Hello and welcome to another checkpoint video and what we've been playing this month. This is a video for Forge Ahead. I'm Tamer Asfahani, Editor-in-Chief. Welcome. Thank you very much for watching. I'm just going through some of the swords that we have here on Forge Ahead. This is a mobile app. I use iOS, so you will be able to download this for free. There is in-app purchases, but you don't really need to spend any money on this game. As you quite know, I don't really like spending money on apps, which is quite I think prevalent with everybody at the moment. Everybody expects stuff for free. This game is pretty cool. You can kind of progress through it pretty quickly. I downloaded this game after being inundated with ads within other games actually that I play on my phone. It's a great little app because actually you get to forge a load of different swords and you get to unlock a load of different swords types. You also get like mini missions, which is what you can see here through the ledger. So you get and different materials. You unlock different materials again, as you can see here, that increase in value and rarity. The higher the value, the higher the rarity, the more kind of money you get for the sword per second if it's sat on your shelf, and obviously you can sell it for more as well. It is an idle clicker game, so once you've left the game and come back to it, you will collect the coins that you've missed. There are upgradable elements, which you can see here. This is the mining element, and this is the crucible capacity, so the amount of kind of pieces of metal that you can put in to create an alloy metal for your sword. You can choose different types of blades. You have to unlock all of these as well as the hilt. You can have whatever kind of combination of both, and obviously you need a hammer and you need your grinder to shine or polish your sword at the end. And here's the shop as well, where you can increase the capacity, which you can see that I've done there now. So let's build a sword. Just to give you an idea of how it works, you choose any, like I say, any kind of hilt and any blade. The more you have on your rack, the better it is. It is a difficult thing to kind of get your head around because as you have to unlock different metals, and the way that you unlock different metals and different alloys is by mining, which you'll see in a minute. So as you mine through, obviously you can increase the speed and the power of your mining tools. Different kind of elements show up. It's actually quite hard. If you saw from the beginning, it's quite hard to figure out which element is which. It's not particularly clear. So palladium, for example, is very close to iridium in color. And one is rarer than the other. One has higher value than the other. So sometimes it's really difficult to figure out what it is. I tend to go with anything that's coloured is a good thing. Anything that's dull, so you can see there's two kind of dull colours there. They're really low value. And anything that's a little bit brighter is good. And as you can see there, I've just unlocked a new metal that I hadn't had before. You smelt and melt and drop your kind of metal into the shape, and then you shine it, hammer it out, and then you shine it. Oh, sorry there. And then you shine your sword. Your sword is then available to either sell immediately to somebody who's waiting for a mission, or it goes onto your rack, and then that increases your per second value, as you can see at the top there. Every time you create a sword, you level up. And here, once you've selected the sword, you can see what the sword is made up of. Now there is a little timer in the top that you can see, and that timer counts down to the different missions. And as you can see here through the ledger, you get different people asking for either different types of swords or different alloy swords, different rarity of swords. They tell you their backstory, and then you choose whether to accept the mission or refuse the mission. This guy's asked for a common sword, so that's fine. We've got a common sword sitting on the back shelf there, which we can sell to him. If you give them a higher value than what they've asked for, it tends to be better because it allows them to be successful with their mission. There is no benefit or loss if they fail their mission. So you know it's just kind of there to keep the game mechanic going on. So as you can see, I've failed a couple of missions before, and if they ask for a specific alloy, for example, I had a guy come in to the shop a couple of days ago that wanted a copper alloy in the sword. I only had one bit of copper, which you can see now. Each one of these kind of pieces of metal ore becomes the percentage of what the sword is made up from. But I couldn't get more than one copper as I created and forged a new sword. It's hugely frustrating, especially when they give you timed missions, because you will sometimes get missions in which you are timed to build a custom sword, and if you can't get more the material that you want, for example, it becomes very, very difficult then to do anything with it. So the more of a specific metal ore you have, the better it is, and the more success they will get from their mission. But I just wanted to kind of forge a sword as we were waiting. That's what I tend to do if we're waiting for a customer to come in, because it takes about 120 seconds. I always tend to forge a sword. What that means is that then my per second, as you can see, my per second input of money kind of goes up, which is great. The audio isn't great on this game, which you'll hear in a minute. It's very restricted, very limited. The background isn't great, obviously, as you can see, but which I've muted up until now. But I thought I'd play this out for you in full audio, so you can hear it. So you can hear what it's like. So here we have a mission with this guy called Oscar, who's a tax collector. Oscar's a tax collector. He's always a tax collector, I've noticed. And he wants a sword with a great style blade. Now, I don't have a great style blade. Oh, I do on the background there, but let's build one anyway. So we go to our... By the way, you have to unlock all of these. These cost money, but it's so quick. I mean, within a day or two, I'd unlocked all of the hilts and all of the blades. And obviously the different varieties that you have. So you can kind of mix and match the hilts and the blades, and the rarity of those swords, then they become custom jobs, which increases their value, which is good. But again, a lot of that has to do with the metal ore that you are mining, which we can see here. Now, here we are. So you can probably hear, very basic sound. There's no sound here, which is surprising, so we don't get the sound for the grinding or the polishing of the sword, which is a bit of a shame, I think, because there's a trick to be missed. But you know what, for a free game, for something like that, once you've done it, you can either sell it immediately if you've got a mission waiting, which I have done, or you can pop it onto your shelf on the background, which will then increase the number of coins that you're getting per second. Anyway, that is Forge Ahead. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything that you wanted to know, let me know. But download it. It's available on iOS. I'm not sure if it's available on Android, but I would check it out if you can. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.